Hi, I'm Shlomo Yashurin,
Hi, I'm Zipporah Yeshuron.
and we are Kieran's parents, proud parents.
Yes.
Anyway, we have been Kieran's parents since he was 7 months old, and he is now almost about 45 days from aging out of the foster care system on the September the 28th. And wow, this period has gone so fast.
Unbelievable how time flies.
Yeah, for sure.
Hmm.
And we are at, a pivot in the journey. And wow, so much to say. With I won't get into it. Let my wife start at how we came to know Akiran,
Hmm.
and we want to depict, his beginning, his his path to where he is now, and what we envision for his journey moving forward. So I'll let Zipporah tell you how she came to know him, and then I'll tell you how I came to know him.
Yes, so I was working at the hospital on Gosling Ward and uh, received the doctor's order to see a baby on who had failure to thrive and who had complex medical issues. And so I started therapy with him, and he responded to me well. And, as I was doing therapy, one day the social worker came by and she was asking how he was doing. I told her he was responding very well to occupational therapy intervention. And she said, well, we are thinking of starting a medical foster care program. So I was interested. I asked, what exactly is that? What was it about? And she explained it to me that he was without a home and that he would need um, the stability of a home and some TLC, some loving care. And because of his complex issues, they would rather have somebody in the medical field to take care of him, just to meet the demands of his care. So I went home and discussed it with my husband. I said, "You got to see this baby. Um, let's become foster parents. And let's apply at least just to see where this road would take us." So, after talking to my husband, we eventually got to meet him, and my husband fell in love with him. And there, let him take it from there.
Yeah. So when she let me make it more thorough. When she approached me, I was in my career with a major airline in America, and I was commuting back and forth to work, and I was anticipating taking a early out package after being employed there 17 years. This is right before the merger of between two airlines. And so I said, when she approached me, she said, "What are you going to do with your time if you were to take the early out?" And I said, "I'm going to go fishing every day as much as I can." I'd already looked forward to those days anyway. So she comes and she says to me, uh, there's a beautiful little boy here at the hospital that I'm giving therapy to, and he really, is facing institutionalized living for his life, and would you consider, us becoming foster parents? So I was like, hadn't thought about it, but what does it got to do with my fishing? And so anyway, to make a long story short, I came to the hospital and Gosling Ward, and I met Ahkiron. And like she said, when I first laid eyes on him, I knew that our lives were going to change forever. It was like a soul tie. It's like he is the missing piece in our life. Um,
And this was a faith journey.
yeah, it was totally a faith journey because we didn't know what foster care was.
Hmm.
We'd heard of it over the years, but we never, thought about it, And so when she said, come down and meet him, I knew that, yes, we would be giving him a home. And it was a beautiful thing. So after I left, I said, okay, what do we have to do? So we called up Selena, I think it was, at
Yeah, Selena
DCFS,
Simons.
Selena Simons,
Yes. Hmm.
and we said we had heard that there was a laundry list of people that was, already waiting to receive him as, parents, and so we said, okay, well, we want to just put in an application and see what happens because surely there's a list we've heard of, and
Hmm.
we'd like to see what we can make of it. So
But from the time that we actually sat down and talked to Selena, between the application and that time, he was taken out to Boston Children's Hospital.
yes,
We didn't know what it was, but he was taken there, and then upon his return, when we sat down and finally talked to Selena in our home, she said that I said, "Well, it was a lot of people. Where's the line of people waiting to foster him?" And she said, "What line?" So since he's been back, he has a feeding tube, so there's no longer a line.
yes.
So
So that particular trip, Ahkiron went to have a what you call a NIMSA fundification, and that's where because he had high risk for aspiration, and so they put a Mickey G tube in his stomach so he would be tube fed, and so he uh, would need to be tube fed, for the great duration of his life.
and we
Uh,
never did that, but we were up for the challenge.
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
one of the nurses, when it came near time, she trained us.
Nurse Michelle. She's now with his pediatrician, Dr. West. So a lot of you'll find during this journey, there's a lot of caregivers that and clinicians that have come, uh, in a Chiron's journey, and
Yes.
they are somewhere still in the journey, and some of them are even revisiting the journey at different points. And so we're so grateful that in Bermuda community, it's such a close knit, when it comes down to children with special needs
Yeah.
and the children with disabilities, that caregivers, like us, continue to care. It's like caring never runs out. No matter what. There's been a lot of positions that have changed over the years, but for some reason they still intersect. It's
Yeah.
kind of funny,
And
but
not only did we have to learn how to tube feed him,
yeah,
we had to learn how to change the tube
yes,
because it needed to be changed every month.
yes,
So that was, whatever they told us to do with him, we learned the techniques, learned how to feed him, how to measure and make the feed and
yes,
the infant formula at the time.
yes,
And we had to learn how to uh, help him with his breathing medicine. And he was on a lot of
yes.
medications.
When Akiran came to us, he was on 80% medication, 20% food.
Oh
Seemed
boy.
like to me, but anyway, yeah, he was a little sickly boy, and he he came to us. He had no posture control, dexterity. He had to sit in
Very hypotonic, low
hypotonic. Yes,
tone.
he had to sit in a boppy chair just to be set up, and
Yeah. At 9 months, he couldn't even sit by himself.
yeah. So this was an interesting challenge, but
Yeah.
we took it on, and it's become our normal. So, and
Yes.
being with the airline, it's kind of helped because Ahkiron had to go to Boston Children's every 6 months. So it was no problem to just jump a flight with my privileges and
Mm-hmm.
take Ahkiron to get the care he needs in the United States
Mm-hmm.
often, whether it was therapeutic. So anyway, we became the island's first therapeutic
Foster
foster
care.
parents
Mm-hmm.
officially. And
Yes.
so we were grateful to that.
Yeah.
Um, so anyway, his so initially Danielle and Malika at DCFS brought Akiran home to us from the hospital.
Yes.
It was
Mm-hmm.
about a month or two later after we applied.
Mm-hmm.
When we got everything together, we had nothing in the home. We were living in a one bedroom with a very large closet,
Walk-in.
walk-in
Yeah.
closet, and we took everything out of that and converted that closet
Well,
into.
first we had him in the room with us
We
while
had him
he
in the
was
room with
still
us initially.
young. Initially, when he was first,
Yes.
yeah,
And
there
then
home
we
with
converted
us.
our closet into his primary care area. so so
Yeah.
he was he was right there in the space with us, and
Mm-hmm.
but he it took a lot of attentiveness with the Kiran, and it still does to this day,
Mm-hmm.
to address his care needs.
Yes.
So anyway, the first instance, we were loaded with therapists in the home from a group called CDP, or Child Development
Before
Program.
that, before that,
Oh,
I think you had to go away to work, so he had developed pain in his earache.
oh
So
yeah, forgot about that.
I had to bundle him up, walk down the street, take him on the bus, and make our way to We Care, me and the Chiron, and then the doctor diagnosed him with ear infection.
Yes. And
So
that led to a trip to Boston Children's where he ended up having his ears drained and grommets put in them. So
yeah,
that was a
yeah.
almost near instant
Our first trip
trip
to Boston
to
was
Boston. Yeah.
in snow,
Yes.
and he ended up needing surgery once they looked at his ears, and then we found out while he was under, they did a test, and when they came out, they let us know that he was hard of hearing, that he
Yes.
would end up needing some hearing aids.
Yes. That posed the next challenge.
And
So
that's
now
why he
Akira.
wasn't babbling or talking yet, or babbling,
Yeah.
as an infant. So,
So now we had a child that was challenged with hearing as well.
mm-hmm.
So what we found out along the journey is that what we got was still manifesting. so, uh,
Yep.
and it was not a problem for us. We just took it on. We're grateful that the Most High gave us compassion as
Yes.
a gift of service,
Yes.
and we just took it right on.
Yep.
All
Our
right.
first time experiencing parenthood.
Yeah, we weren't parents. We have now been married 30, almost nearly 34 years.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And at the time we got a Chiron, I believe he's about to turn 18 and I'm 55. So do the math. I
Yeah.
was in my late 30s and my wife was just a little tidbit more seasoned than me in age. But anyway, so we became parents late in life. We spent the majority of our years in our careers and
Yep.
enjoying ourselves. So
Yep.
Chiron came in the latter part of our lives, and we were more mature parents, to
Yeah.
start because
That's a good way of putting
we had had a
it.
life before him. And
Yes.
so so the journey began. So CDP, we had about 4 or 5 more modalities of therapists in the house. Sephora was his first occupational therapist. Then I think the first therapist to come was another occupational therapist, which was Tanae Furbert. Then came Andrea Can. Then came a
It's
Portage
yeah.
person named Michelle Can, I think at the time,
Mm,
Nicola, and Caroline, and
yeah, Caroline and Alex came later on, and
Alex, and Melissa. So we had
yeah,
all these modalities. We had occupational therapy, we had physical therapy, we had speech and
speech
language pathology,
pathology and
and
portage.
portage. And so, and usually these teams with CDP would co-treat. So therapy was about 3 to 4 days a
Teamwork.
week in the home for hours.
Yes.
And that one educated me because I pretty much worked over the weekends. I would leave and go to work in America on Thursday evening and come back Sunday. So pretty much during the week, when Ahkiron was receiving these therapists, I was there with him while my wife was still at the hospital. And then on the weekends, she took
Yeah.
over so I could go to work. So
Right.
anyway, that's how it
The
went.
schedule was able to accommodate,
Yeah, it accommodated our
his needs and
yeah.
our schedule. So
And so anyway, this went on for about 4 years. All right, maybe five. Was it?
no, because he went to Dame when he turned 4.
Okay, so nearly 4 years, three and a half years.
Mm.
So anyway, Akiron entered Dame. Uh,
Dame Marjorie being Hope Academy.
yes, and
Yep, at the preschool age of
yes, and
4.
Dr. Dina Butterfield, I think, allowed him to have a slightly early entry,
Yep.
and we're so grateful for that.
Mhm.
And so that shifted
Yeah.
or pivoted his experience from CDP to his school
Yep.
days. All right,
And that's where he is to this day.
and that's where he is to this day.
Yeah.
So now, fast forward 17 years
Mm,
later.
unbelievable. Ooh, where did time go?
We're nearly at the end of foster care, and he's
Yeah.
aging out. We have gone from secure to not so secure uh, to, you know, nearly homeless in this journey. I'm going to just keep it real, I'm telling you. And
Talk
then,
about a faith walk. Oh
you're
my.
talking about a
Ooh.
faith walk. I mean, but we
Mm-hmm.
never flinched. We never flinched.
Just
We just trusted that the Most High would work everything out for us and keep us together as a
yes.
family.
Yes.
Um, this journey has taken many, many shifts for many years. I served on the PTA board with the school. I've also served as the vice president of the Foster Parents Association. And so I have been involved in a lot of the uh, areas in and around Ahkiron, the support.
Yeah.
And my wife and I are now both retired. Um, and how does that look? It sounds good, but it Ahkiron has so many needs.
Challenges
Every
ahead.
time I
Yeah.
think his needs have
Been met.
been met, and we could, pretty much get at a stationary position
Yeah.
with his needs.
Because he'll have through the years he'll have periods where his medical needs will just go through the roof, and then all of a sudden he'll have a couple of years of plateau,
Yeah.
like still improving, but no particular things involved. Like for instance, he was doing fine until he hit puberty, and all of a sudden he started having seizures. That has
Yes.
never happened
Another
before.
pivot.
So
Yes.
little things like that.
Yes. He started having seizures. They were mini malls, but they were frequent mini malls, and
Yeah.
that kind of freaked us out. We didn't know what in the world, where is this coming from, and what do we
Right.
do to, to, you know, s- cause
Hmm.
this? You know what I mean? But
So we started having to frequently go to the hospital because he had to have the EEG tests, and there were blood tests, and there was a lot of other things medically that he needed. And then he eventually got on medication. Then they had to try to keep the levels of his blood work, and that medication didn't work too well. So he was still having the seizures, not as frequently, but then he went through the process where he had to come off that medication and go on to try another medication. And then that was working for a while. And then all of a sudden, when he had another growth spurt, then it wasn't as effective anymore. And so he had to be off and on in and out the hospital just for other reasons and EEG tests. And then he finally was he had to be hospitalized it was COVID, and they had the requests come from Boston virtually to his Dr. West at We Care, and at their recommendation, he would go in the hospital and have the be hooked up to the EEG around the clock. And then when he comes off the EEG, then they would send the information to the specialist in Boston, and then he would determine what level or what type of medication. So the last time we went through this, may call it a rodeo, last time we went through this, he said, okay, the current medication he's maxed out on, we're going to have to add another medication. So I'm like, this child is already on some medication. And now he's poor sight. We have to add another one. But it ended up working out because he hasn't had any seizure activity for 2 years.
Yes.
So that interfered with him continuing with the horseback riding therapeutic riding program at WinReach. But, I'm just so thankful and grateful that he was able to finally, we were able to finally bounce back and have that under control.
Yeah. All right. So guess who's home? Ahkiron, say hi to everybody. You want to say hi to everybody?
Say hi.
Okay. So Ahkiron just got off the bus from camp, and he's joining us now. And so everybody, this is Ahkiron. And this is my 17-year-old, nearly 18-year-old, as we have been speaking about. So my wife and I have always tried to figure out what we could do to move forward. What could we do? Because Ahkiron does take a lot of our time and our energy, And so at the last home visit with DCFS, his social worker had suggested to us that we might want to look into a charity, starting a charity for Ahkiron, because he has so many ongoing therapeutic requirements, including equipment, continued care requirements, and there is a awareness that once he finishes foster care, that there is a step down, and I would consider it a fall off the roof when it comes down to what's available for him under adult services versus what's available, the care he's been given through foster care. Their budget is a whole lot larger versus places like financial assistance and the other adult services within the community. So with that said, my wife and I have decided to start a fundraiser for Ahkiron, and this comes after a consult with the Register General and the Department of Age Concern and Disabilities. And so the charity laws in Bermuda require us to spend a lot more charitable time with the community that we just don't have, because Ahkiron, his needs are so great. So with that said, again, we've devised the Weight Loss Waymakers Community Fundraiser. And my wife and I are going to, in a challenge with one another and with the community, lose our weight which I have a lot of weight to lose, and Zipporah has a few pounds to lose as well. And we're going to get in a weight off with one another and challenge the community to join us in a very warm competition to raise resources for Kieran's continued care. So with that said, because compassion never ages out, but foster care does unfortunately end. So what we're going to do, the purpose of this is to aid a foster care youth alumni, with physical disabilities. Our son has cerebral palsy. So with that said, we're planning to, with the government approval of the fundraiser, they will issue a certificate which will allow us to operate under charity laws here in Bermuda. We're planning to launch this September through March with a renewal period midway at the end of December. If that is granted appropriately, we will have a 6-month period to raise funds, and hopefully we can raise the $200,000 minimum that's necessary for his equipment costs, his continued visits with Boston Children that are scheduled. One is a speech augmentation.
Are you trying to get speech out?
I think he's trying to tell us something here. Okay, Kieran. And so he has speech augmentation that was scheduled for September, and we were hoping that it would get taken care of before he ages out of Child and Family Services. But it doesn't look like that's going to happen because they have 60 children or more on caseload, and Ahkiron has already eaten into the budget this fiscal year pretty well. His last 2 visits to Boston Children, that's last September and this April through May, surmounted to at least $150,000 worth of the cost that was uninsured costs that was absorbed by Family Services. And so we thank Family Services for their investment in our son and his care needs. But we do realize that level of coverage will be no more once he has officially aged out. So we're going to do everything we can as parents to support Ahkiron moving forward. We hope that there could be a bridge period or an extended period with Family Services until we can get this fundraiser on board. That is our hope. That is our prayers. We don't know that can happen. If there can be a change in legislation prior in the next 45 days, we don't know. But Ahkiron. So we don't know, but we're prayerful that things may and could happen. But we're going to do everything we can to launch this fundraiser for Ahkiron starting September. All right. Is there anything else you'd like to add, Zipporah?
I think that's about it.
All right. Well, Ahkiron, you have anything else you would like to add? Yes? Maybe? No? You want to say thank you? You want to say thank you? Okay. Well, with that said, thank you for your time.
Yes.
This is Ahkiron's journey. We will be doing daily vlogs on YouTube and all over the social media platform to keep the public updated on the rest of this journey. Probably starting somewhere after the 1st of August, after the Cup Match holidays. All right? And so, I think that's it. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for listening, taking the time to listen.
Thank you so much. And we'll see you at another point in the road.
All right.
Bye now.
Bye.
Say bye. Say bye. Say bye. Bye now.
Bye.
Yes, Kiran. How was school today, sir? How was camp today? Yeah? You trying to tell me about it? All right.
Ahkiron, who some of you may know, because they have been fostering AT since he was an infant, and this year marks the end of our journey with them because he is turning 18. Since AT was an infant in need of specialized medical care, Mrs. Ahkiron came to know about his plight as she was employed at the hospital. When DCFS was trying to figure out where we would place AT, Mrs. Ahkiron did not hesitate to say that she and her husband would step up to the plate. It's hard to believe that AT is turning 18 this year, and DCFS can truly say that the last 18 years has certainly been eventful. We have seen Mr. and Mrs. Ahkiron use love, acceptance, hands-on care to nurture AT throughout his various stages of development. Additionally, in terms of specialized services, a unique school environment, and frequent overseas medical appointments, Mr. and Mrs. Ahkiron have never wavered in their dedication to AT. The ongoing responsibilities have been quite heavy. Despite this couple realized a long time ago that there were no alternatives for AT, and they accepted the fact that they became his family. It is extremely ironic that we are highlighting Mr. and Mrs. Ahkiron for what would have been their last appreciation tea, and they are not physically here because they are overseas again with AT. DCFS applauds the ongoing commitment of this couple and does not hesitate to provide them with tangible recognition, because I'll make sure that they get this, as they prepare to move on to adult services within the community and receive services from the other helping agencies within the community. We salute them and we say well done to Mr. and Mrs. Ahkiron, and they will be getting this appreciation plaque. Government of Bermuda, Department of Child and Family Services, Foster Parent Spotlight for Shlomo and Zipporah Ahkiron, who have raised this foster child from infancy to the age of 18. DCFS applauds and salutes your commitment in May 2025.